Hello, I'm Clive Wouters and I'm joined by Mengyang Pan, who is giving a concert today on Beethoven's birthday of music by Beethoven here at the Cranleigh Arts Centre. And this is a chat to put her programme and indeed herself into a little bit of a context for you, since obviously we don't have programmes. Hello Menyang, lovely to welcome you back to the Arts Centre.
Love to see you.
And now if we just talk about you for a little bit, you started playing piano at the age of 3 in China, moving on to the Central School in Beijing, and then you came to this country and were at the Purcell School and then at the Royal College of Music. You're now a professor of music and teach as well as performing. Now, do you feel that our countries have different approaches to engaging young people with music?
Yes, I do, especially when I was a child, because I was born in the middle 80s, and to us back then, classical music was just about to start out. So it was very rare for anybody to learn an instrument, let alone a European instrument. So my childhood basic education was quite limited in some ways, whereas now when I teach, even before I returned to college, when I was teaching in a school, in any of your UK schools, you actually have a very, very good musical education for children already, and children can actually study piano in a school or any other instruments, you know. So that is definitely a huge difference between the two countries. Having said that, I do believe that China has evolved since then, and it is now, I believe, one of the most popular, piano is probably one of the most popular instruments in the whole country. Yeah, so it's a big, big difference.
And we're seeing quite a few very celebrated performers from both Japan and China.
Yes.
Performing in international concerts all over now, aren't we?
That's right,
yes,
that's right. Yes. It's tremendously popular, and I do believe that the Chinese government is actually encouraging the making of classical music.
Yes,
well, so that's very reassuring, isn't it?
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, you were described, and I picked this out of the Times, as, before one concert, poised like a cat spying its prey before the pounce. And you've said that you like the experimental. You look for the experimental in the work that you perform.
Yeah.
Does that characterise your style as a performer, do you think?
Definitely for contemporary music, I would say. And it's a funny piece I was playing as well. Well, it was a massive piece by this German composer called Helmut Lachenmann. And he actually wrote this piece that's called Serenade for his wife. And it was a 30 minutes big work, and I had to crush the piano with my forearms and all of that. And it's a very dramatic piece, so my eyes were, all over the place. And I would say that even in more sort of genuinely no pieces, I am quite focused as a player. You could see in my eyes that I'm normally very engaged. And I like that kind of focus. It really makes me feel, part of the concert. And I like to live in the moment.
Yeah.
If that kind of answers that question.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've got Beethoven on the bill tonight, and you've taken part twice, I think, in the St Barnabas Sonata Festival, where all his sonatas are played in order, like a sort of relay race with different performers across 2 days.
Yeah.
Now, what's that like to be a performer in that, and indeed, what do you think the audience gets from that?
Oh, I think from the performer's point of view, I think it's just really fun to be able to participate in such a festival. The difficulty for doing that is that we only play one piece. So you have to make sure that you are absolutely focused before you go on stage, because you only have about 15-20 minutes. And it's no good if you're into the mood after 15 minutes, you're gone,
Yeah.
And I think from an audience point of view, it's just such a nice, almost like a party, isn't it? You get to see 25, 26 young performers. You get to know their personalities and their skills and their stage personalities. I think it's just really fun. And of course, you know, as an audience, you then mingle with others. It's like a nice social event. But in general, I just think it's really fun.
And of course, this year it had to be online.
Yes.
Sadly.
Yes.
Yes. Well, we're all missing a party, aren't we?
Oh, we are. But I mean, I'm sure in next time, once this pandemic is over, we can do this again.
Yes.
Can't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, just turning to your relationship with Beethoven, the critic Christopher Axworthy has praised your playing of Beethoven for its clarity and precision, going from the imperious to the more touching. Is this the range of emotion that you identify in Beethoven?
Yes. I really feel that his music is very human. I mean, you can get any emotions through his music, and not just in his piano music, but in symphonies and chamber works. And I truly enjoy playing his piano repertoire. And that, of course, can be said with all the other composers as well. But I do find that Beethoven just speaks to me on a much more personal level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And your program tonight is across the whole range. We've got, in the first half, the young Beethoven, darling of the nobility, showing off to all the court and friends, including some people have regarded as his first masterpiece, number 7. Mm-hmm. What do you find are the characteristics of his early style?
One have to first look at the instrument he had. You know, towards the later Beethoven's life, the piano became more evolved. So during his early life, I would say piano was much smaller, it was much quieter. So, and also being a young man, I believe his music was more optimistic. And it is quite fun. And it resonates with me when I play. It reminds me of my childhood or my sort of teenage years. Mm-hmm. You know, and also at the same time, I mean, I say it's more optimistic, but if you look at number 7, the second movement is very tragic. So that already gave us a hint to what we could expect towards his later works. And I do find it's just very, if I can describe it with one word, it's just fun to play. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of his style of the early work. Yes. In my opinion.
And the darkness you see in number 7, some suggested that he was already sensing that he was going deaf.
Could be.
At that stage even.
Could be, yes. But it's very touching.
Yeah. And then the second half, we've got a late sonata, number 30, and then you're going to end with the very dramatic F minor Appassionata. Yeah. All guns blazing for number 23.
Exactly.
So, what are the challenges for a performer with those really architectural works that he comes up with later?
Musically, I do think that we have to make sure that each voice is clear so that you can layer over. Otherwise, because his music became more polyphonic, you know, as they get later. And technically too, because let's face it, I said earlier, you know, his piano did evolve and it became bigger, it became more powerful, but it was no way like the modern piano we have nowadays. So actually, I believe it is quite challenging for a performer, technically and physically, to play on a modern instrument for his late works. And so that is one thing. And secondly, it's just, you know, it's almost symphonic-like, isn't it? Mm. So in a way, I do believe that it's quite challenging even for the audience to listen. So our job then is to make sure that they can follow what we're trying to do, you know, both in every sense, not just musically, but also logically. Yeah. And I think these are the big challenges for us.
Well, I'm very much looking forward to it, and thank you so much for joining us again and bringing your knowledge, understanding, and interpretation to us this evening.
No, I
Thank
look
you so
forward to
much.
it very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.